I
met
I'm
Lena.
sending the meeting link to Susan. You met Lena at the desk, right?
Yeah, well, I went in on, I was working the desk Tuesday. I went in to meet her on Wednesday and she showed me how to do soil testing.
Oh, that is so nice.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
lovely.
That is really, really good.
And she gave me some hints about things that I was trying to grow from seed.
Good.
I'm like, they're just not coming up, like one in a pot. She goes, well, do you cover them? I go, cover them? She goes, yeah, once you plant the seeds and wet them, you should keep them covered with something. So I went, replanted, and now I got my seeds covered. We'll see how that works.
You know, Lena is the person that I go to for most of my propagation efforts because she has a really good interest in it and a very good grasp of the concept.
Yeah.
And I don't need to have my own wheel if she's got it. And I'm not being lazy. I just think that it's great to have a volunteer who is
resource efficient.
Right. I'm trying to be efficient.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's the person that I'm
IG center that I had there with your name on. She goes,
yes.
Oh, I grow them. I'll take some of these seeds, but they're still in the packet for you.
Yes. So speaking of which, we have been doing amazing things at the Gifford Garden.
I drove by with my husband just to see. No one was there, but because Lena was talking to me about it. But she gets there very early in the morning, like 7:30.
Yeah, we go out there early in the morning because it's very, very difficult to work out there when it is super hot.
Yeah.
It's just not a task that you want to have on your head.
No, do you have it listed when you'll be there?
I'm usually out there every morning as well. I normally get there from about 7:30, between 7:30 and 8 o'clock.
And you stay till what time?
Until about 10.
Oh, okay.
When it starts to get really hot. Now, mind you, on some of the overcast days, I did work on my sunburn. Right. And I've been racing against the clock to do this garden because the hotter it gets earlier in the morning, the less time I have to be able to go out there because I'm not going to get up at 5 o'clock to go out there. That's not a sustainable effort.
Who's going to be maintaining that garden?
Hopefully the people who signed up and said that they were interested in doing community gardening will. So, and even with that, I am switching. So I sent out a test email today for Better Impact. Hold on. I'm answering Susan right now. She didn't get the email for the meeting today. Okay, so I know it's hard for me to schedule things on our old VMS because I don't want to continue using that system. And so that's been the reason why I haven't really been too far down everybody's throats about coming out and doing things because I know I don't have it on a calendar for people to say, oh, let me sign up for this and get myself sorted out to go do it. That's one thing.
I've been calling Jim and he's been putting me on. Like I tried to click on to put my name in the calendar and it wouldn't take it.
Right. So I sent out that email today. Right. I sent out that email today as a test to see who is receiving emails from that system.
Okay.
Now, when I sent the email out, I received it about 3 or 4 times. I don't know how many times you all received it, even though I'm so grateful. Oh, so you received it once. Okay, so maybe what it's doing is it's addressing both of my accounts and using just one of my email addresses for both when I merge both accounts. Now, having said that, I am going to be doing the training for that next week on the 6th. Right? So that's next Tuesday. Next Tuesday on the 6th, I'm going to be doing Better Impact training. Give me 1 minute because I've got a wee one in the back and he is making himself very known. Hold on a second. And don't judge me for my dirt.
I.e., she was working in the garden
Oh,
and realized the time and rushed in.
That, well, kind of. I did realize the time. I took my time to get home though, because there's nothing worth me rushing down the street distracted. So you were kind of right. And to be fair and honest, as we were saying before, I can clean my house, right? I can get everything all clean. So anyway, we're going to be doing Better Impact training next Tuesday's meeting. Those of you who want to come into the conference room for the meeting, we can have it there you can come there in the conference room for the meeting, okay? I have the conference room booked for Better Impact training. That is going to be our new volunteer management system. I want to help you all set up your profiles and to familiarize yourselves with at least a few of the things on there. As we go along using this new system, I will continue to have more trainings on different aspects of the system. It is significantly the same and significantly different from the old VMS that we just accustomed ourselves to. So next Tuesday's meeting will be hybrid. Those of you who are fully vaccinated can show up and you do not have to wear a mask. If you are not fully vaccinated, which means if you took the J&J 2 weeks after, if you took Pfizer or Moderna 2 weeks after your second shot, you are fully vaccinated. Then you can sit in the room and you do not have to be masked up, okay? We're still observing social distancing for the most part. It's just that I know that most of you will learn this better in person. So I've booked the training room for us to be able to get together and do this training. Those of you who...
Where is the training room? Near your office?
It's downstairs.
Okay.
In the building. So when you come back down the stairs, the first room that is at the bottom of the stairs that you're facing that room, that's the room that I'm talking about.
Okay.
All right, now speaking of that room, Master Gardener training begins on next Thursday. Those of you who were in my last training class and any others of you who want to attend these classes, you are welcome to come, because I know it's so much better to be able to do some of these lessons in person, right? So I'm sending out the schedule at the end of this afternoon. I have a few things that I have to go and pick up elsewhere, and then I will be in office today finalizing my schedule for that, and I will send it out to you all. So those of you who did it all virtually last year, you are welcome to come in person this year. And any of you who want refreshers on any of the things that I'm teaching this year, please just remember to let me know that you're coming so that I can have adequate handouts prepared. That's the only caveat to this, right? I know I'm going to have who is slated in my class this year. I will have handouts for those people. If you intend to come to the class, I need to know so that I can be prepared for you as well. Please do not think to yourself that this is something that you cannot access. Every programmatic effort that I have is absolutely accessible to every single one of you. If I'm teaching at McKee, if I'm doing something anywhere else, everything that I do, you all are allowed to come and you all are welcome to come. You're allowed to access it in some way, shape, or form, be it virtually or in person. Okay, so I want you all to remember that. Hi, Nancy. It's good to see you. And it's good to see you too, Nancy Richards.
Hey.
Time and date for when the VMS training is 6th. That's next Tuesday's meeting.
Oh.
Okay, next Tuesday's meeting, we're doing it both ways. We're going to be doing it via Zoom and in person. And all of the new Master Gardener training classes are going to be hybrid as well, on Zoom and in person. I'm finalizing the schedule for our field trips, so that I can really make sure that I send that out. So those of you, especially from my last class, who were not allowed field trips last year, which I planned on make up field trip days anyway, but since I'm doing training this year, I'm just doing it as a regular training. We have more things that we are going to be doing during our field trips this year. One of the major reasons for that is because I really want us to do more outside of a classroom, in a building, in a room. I want to do more things in different ways so that you all can get more out of the curriculum. Nancy, it's going to be 30 minutes or longer, but I'm recording it just like all the other meetings. So when you have to leave, you can just go ahead and go, because the first few minutes are going to be spent logging in. That's the main thing. You all can make as many mistakes on that new system as you want to, live in the county building. That's right, downstairs in B501. I've booked out that room for our time. You all can make as many mistakes on this system as you want to. That is not going to be a problem. I've been making 10, 15 mistakes every time I log in there. I find it to be amusing, but I like tech. Okay, but I find it to be helpful for me so that when I'm teaching you, you make less frustrating mistakes than I've made. All right, having said that, we have a few things that I need for us to do. I am going to, poor Susan, she still can't get my email. All right, she's going to have to watch the video recording. We have pots to do at the IG Center. I would like to schedule that for Thursday. I just found out that Friday is Good Friday. I didn't realize that because I really planned on doing it on Friday. So now that I know that much, I would like to get the pots at the IG Center done on Thursday. The game plan is the same for just everything else that we've done. All right. I will be down there on Thursday morning at 8 a.m. I would like for at least 2 or 3 of you to show up because it's a lot of work. Here's what we're going to be doing. They went and bought brand new pots. So that means there are 2 sets of pots that need to be taken care of out there. I don't like the waste. I do not see a reason for waste. So I'd like for us to empty the old pots, clean them down, and wash them off so that we can eventually spray paint them back a neutral color and use them in the north side of the building where I told them to put containerized gardens anyway. The new pots need to be filled and planted. So if we have more people, we can get this done in less than an hour or 2, for sure. There are 9 pots each group. So if we can have 2 or 3 people emptying out those pots, and if we can have 2 or 3 people filling the other pots, we'll be done in no time. We definitely will. I would just like to make sure that we get it done And of course, I can't spend the bulk of my day out there. So if I can have like 4 of you volunteer for this, please send me an email saying that you're willing to come out and do it. I will have some extra mulch on the county truck with me so that we can fill up those the new pots with some of the mulch, and then we're not using as much of the potting mix in them as we would have had to have done without taking up some of that space. The county is they're buying us some plants for the pots that are going to be replaced in the back. So when we wash those out, we just turn them down. They'll dry out over the weekend. And then we can go back on Wednesday to redo those pots that we'll spray them down on Wednesday. A few days later, maybe, or yeah, the next Friday, we'll go ahead and fill those in as well. That's my game plan for the IG Center. So I really do need some people to volunteer for that event. That's going to take a lot of time if I have to go and do it by myself, and I really don't want to. That's why I have volunteers. All right, I'm going to share my screen with you all. This morning, I played in the mud with Lena, and we filled these pots in with bell peppers, herbs, and flowering plants. We have a few new volunteers. Vincent and Judy have showed up out there, and they have been helping us get our garden sorted. Okay, why did that come up like that? Okay, and so we're getting our things done. We planted corn this morning in the bed back here with the peas because it still is corn season. We're getting our edges to come up. I'll be dropping some more mulch out there a little bit later this evening. But we're getting a lot done at GYAC Garden. I don't know why it keeps on dropping my pictures. Stop it. Okay, so long story short is we really do need more help out there because I'm not going to get this garden completed before it gets super hot without some help. And it's some of the heavy work that still has to be done. I still need to put, so you'll see where along the edge of the cardboard, I have a few pavers that are standing on edge. What we do is we dig down into the soil at the edge, put the and cut through the soil and put the paver standing up there. That's how the original beds were made in the garden, within the circle of the garden first. So I'm putting them to the outside of the garden where I'm creating new beds. Let me see here. Let me unshare my screen with you all for a minute and go get these pictures so that you can really see what it is I'm talking about. But yeah, we need some help to get the garden finished. We've been doing a pretty good job on our own. Yesterday we got the roof put on to the building proper. So let me show you one of the roofing guys. He was so sweet. There he is up there, finishing up the roof. We got that finished yesterday, and bless their hearts, they were really, really very nice guys. It was a local guy who has a construction company and a roofing company that said, hey, I'll do it for you. And then they got super busy like we all do. And so they eventually came out and got that done for us. So I'm very happy about that. We have, so this little mound here is where we have watermelon planted into the fence, into that area. So you see where I have these pavers standing up on edge. That is to keep everything in there and to also make it easier for when the county guys come to trim, they're not hitting chain link fence, they're just trimming around those pavers, and it would be so much easier for them to maneuver. That is my brilliant idea, hopefully it'll work, for making sure that we don't create a seed bank, that we don't maintain a seed bank in the fence line of this garden. If you look further into the back, I have a few stacks of pavers, and I have some paver base put down. Mark is going to go out there and fix the paver base issue for me, and we're going to pave that whole entire area so that we can actually have it as seating and proper classroom space. That's going to be really good because I am putting the community back into this garden. It's long overdue, and we have already generated a significant amount of interest actually for this garden. There are people who come out and they do a lot of walking out there. So they've been, you know, the looky-loos who they can't help themselves. So eventually they speak and they ask questions. So we're getting quite a few people who are starting to come around and come out there and be willing to engage. Historically, it was off limits to most people in the community. It was designated as a space where only the students and master gardeners were allowed to be in. And if you were in there, you would have had to have been in there with the master gardeners who were there. I am switching that up slowly but surely. Having said that, I'm hoping that we'll be able to open this garden for classes and other things in the next 2 weeks if I get everything sorted out between now and then. My little mounds in the mulch for the watermelon is basically the same way that you'd normally grow watermelon in your own yard. You know, you put it into a mound of soil because that's the central spot for where the majority of the root system that's going to support the rest of the plant ends up being. I'm experimenting with letting it run along the mulch, and then I'll put little mounds of soil where it really lands with flowers. We'll see how that works out. It's all one great big experiment for me. Nancy Richards, you asked the time for the IG event, 8 a.m. I plan on going out there from 8 a.m. When do I usually go out there? I don't usually go out to the IG Center. Since we finished planting it those couple of days, I don't usually go out to the IG Center. Now, if you're asking when do I usually go out to the Gifford Garden, I get out there from about 7:30 to 8 o'clock in the mornings. Lena is usually out there from about 7:30, and we work until maybe 9, 10-ish, and then we go home. I go back out there in the evenings to continue to do more work. No, we go out there every single day. I go out there every day, unless I'm not here. If I'm not here, that's the only time that I do not go out there. There's just a lot of work to be done. We have had a lot of assistance from parks. They've been really, really great about coming out and helping with some of the tasks that require more manpower than what I currently have, or more expertise than what I currently have. So we've made pretty good progress with this garden, all things considered, because we were supposed to start it up again at the end of January, but we didn't get out there at the end of January. He's really angry, isn't he? Okay, his grandma's back there with him now. He'll soon quiet down. So anyway, we've made significant progress in this garden for having only been working in it for about 6 or 8 weeks. We have almost finished it. So I'm very happy with the progress that we've had. Okay, so Nancy Richards, you've got these two things mixed up. So the date and time for the IG Center. Okay, the date and time for the IG Center is this Thursday, which would be the 1st, right? Because tomorrow's the 31st. So this Thursday is the 1st, and I'm going to be out there at 8 o'clock. That's what I will be doing at 8 o'clock. The supplies are already there because those are the things that parks are providing. I will have plants with me because I offered them plants. So I will have plants and they will be providing the pots and the soil for the plants. So I'll be out there at 8 a.m. All right, so we will be doing training on the new management system next week, Tuesday morning. That's going to be our meeting. I'm going to be experimenting with having our meetings in person, maybe starting in May. We'll have in-person meetings starting again. I'm not sure. I'm waiting to hear what happens with in the coordinators meeting in a few weeks to see where most other small counties are with having themselves opening up again. As soon as we finish Better Impact training next Tuesday, I'm going to go ahead and populate a calendar and set it up, but we will be doing our full schedule back in the office again. So Monday through Friday, both shifts will be open for being back in the office. And that is partially because most of you have informed me that you're fully vaccinated. So you can work with a partner in the office again, and you don't have to have a tedious mask on. I think that is very important for the quality of time that you spend doing this volunteer work, to be able to work with someone else with more ease. Let me see, is there anything else that I really need to tell you all today? Oh, yes, there is something else. I will be leaving this weekend, so I will not be at the garden this weekend. So if any of you have time this weekend to go out there and assist with watering, I'm sure that your assistance will be greatly appreciated. Laurie, MG training next Thursday, plant ID on first day. I would like for you to do the botany module instead of plant ID.
I can do that. Is it up on Teams already?
It is up on Teams already. I'm going to finish the schedule. I've been looking over my training, and I've been looking at the ways that we've put the modules and set up different things. And I said to myself, there are only 10 plant ID classes, but I've got 12 weeks of class. So that gives me 2 weeks of flexibility in there, right?
Well, and one of them with botany, if not two. Okay.
So I said to myself, I think that introduction to botany would be so much better. And then we keep on layering that into plant ID as we go along, so that it's not, here's botany, here's your first session of plant ID.
You got it.
Okay.
Yep.
Violet is going to be sharing with us all of her spots for things.
Okay. Thank you.
And don't forget as well that we do have a great relationship with Busy Bee. So I used to go over there on a regular basis and shop for 8 bougainvilleas, so everybody could have their bougainvillea, or they shared to look at them. So
right.
I will do my best to procure materials so that we're teaching these classes in person and people can see and feel the things. I am also making picture cards because one of the problems that I have with our plant options book for the class is that it does not come with color pictures in it.
Mm-hmm.
That book is significantly more expensive and it's just not cost effective for me to purchase that one. So what I said to myself was, I'm going to make ID cards based on our plant ID class.
Okay.
And put them into the books.
Into the packets, yeah.
Yes.
Got it.
And these are the plants as well that you all encounter more when you're at the desk and people have questions. They're more readily available for us to be able to recommend them. So I'm thinking that, and this was one of the things that I wrote down last year for the class, because I said to myself, this would have been so much more beneficial if I thought of it before. So every year, things have to improve. Things definitely have to get better. Janice, you are muted.
What are the times for the training next Tuesday and the MG classes? Are they starting?
The training next Tuesday is our regular meeting time. So that's going to be 11 o'clock.
Okay.
And the Master Gardener classes are going to start just like how we did them last year.
9 a.m.
So it's going to be the same schedule as last year. Yes.
And if we want to take the class over, should we just bring the handouts you gave us last year?
You could do that. Yes. And just show up. But let me know that you're coming.
Okay.
Because I need to be prepared for people to come.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I need. So you're
going to be in the conference center too?
It's going to be in the conference room downstairs. Yes. And unless we have a field trip day or two. And you will get notification of that. And I will remind you all the week before where we will meet first, what we're going to be doing at first, and all the things that you'll have to have with you at that time. Reva,
Nikki?
you unmuted yourself, so you want to speak?
Yeah. Once again, when do the classes begin? What's the date?
Next week, Thursday, 8th April.
Thursday, okay.
And it's another 12-week session.
Mm-hmm.
And you all are always welcome. And all of my other veteran Master Gardeners are always welcome to every class that I have. You just have to warn me so that I can be prepared for you. And that's the other thing too, right? Because like, if I bring 8 bougainvillea because I expect 8 people and I end up with 20 people, it looks like I don't care. I do care. So I would like to make sure that I have enough materials available so that everyone has a very good learning experience. So yes, you can bring your folders and everything that you all had from last year. A lot of that material is going to be reused. And again, the more you hear it, the more you come and you do things with it, the better you're going to get at recognizing things. When I first came here, I mean, I knew what firebush was, and I knew it was called Amelia Patens, but it was not as ingrained in my mind as it is now. And the difference between native and non-native, I ID'd a laurel oak sapling the other day from a picture, and it was only because I remembered Violet saying it over and over. Live oaks have the fissured bark. They have the bark that's really interesting. You know what I mean? That's the kind of bark that you want to put things on because it's going to hold the roots and the crevices. That in my mind, that's how I connected it. But if I wasn't doing this on a regular basis, it would have taken me ages to sit down and say, okay, this one's easy. That's a laurel oak. Send back the answer. All right. So yeah, those are the things that are coming up. I am starting to expand more and more of our programming to do more things And as things become better and as things start to open up more, I'm more willing to be able to do more than we've been doing. Please don't forget that we have our event over at the Garden Club on the 17th, right? We also have the event over at the Steam Fest on the 17th. I have 2 people who have volunteered for those things. We do need more people because I'm not doing Steam Fest, I'm doing the Garden Club. So DC is going to need at least 2 more people. All right. And please make sure that you're taking care of yourself. All right. Autonomy has responsibility. You are responsible for yourself. So please make sure that if you're not fully vaccinated, and you're going to be around the germ catchers, folks, these are children that we're working with. Please remember to wear your mask and to be out there using the hand sanitizer that is provided. And then we have on the 24th, the event over at CW Willis, where we're going to be doing the very same thing that we did at Steam Fest. Okay, we're going to be doing the same thing that we did at Steam Fest over at CW Willis the next Saturday morning. It's going to be very early, but that's fine. We'll be over at CW Willis doing this very, very same thing. I think that's just about it. I am not going on vacation until after Master Gardener training is done, so I will give you all the heads up on my vacation plans eventually. But by then we're going, CW Willis just opened their new facility on Oslo Road, just shy of 43rd Avenue. So when you go down 43rd Avenue, you're going to have to turn to the left on Oslo Road, and you will see it a little ways down. So it's between 43rd Avenue and 27th Avenue in Oslo. All right. So if you want to volunteer for those things, please send me emails these days because I'm not using the old VMS as much as I used to. All right. But we do need more help for these events. And we do need more people participating in a few of the small things that we've got going, because these small things are they are time consuming and they are energy sapping for real. The new Master Gardener class is hybrid, Gwen. So it's not in person only, it is via Zoom and in person. I'm going to hybridize it. So if it's something that you just want to attend 1 or 2 of the classes and you're fine sitting down in your living room, you can still join. I will send out the links for all of the classes eventually along with the schedule so that you all will be able to just jump in, but you'll have to come to the office for your handouts. I'm not delivering handouts this year. Last year, that took several hours out of my life every Tuesday and sometimes into Wednesday. And oh my goodness, even Thursdays. On lunch breaks, I was dropping things off. I'm not ever doing that again like that. That's not the most efficient or sustainable model. But to be fair, you all were safer at home. And I was okay with doing it for that time. This year, I'm not doing that. So whatever class you want to attend, if you're attending it virtually, please let me know so that I will have your handouts prepared for you to pick up. Okay.
Vicki, what is the event at the Garden Club and Steam Fest? What is that and when do they occur?
The 17th, April. The Garden Club, I think we're just going to be there just for a pop-up clinic. It's basically like people are going to ask you what plant is that and how does it grow? I think that's what it is. I'm still not very clear, and I'm supposed to meet with Reva and
Peggy.
our Peggy for them to give me the heads up in the grand tour. I'll probably try to get that done next weekend. We'll see. definitely not this weekend. I have to go and help my aunt in Miami do something for my mother in Cayman. So that's what I'll be doing this weekend. So it'll probably be next weekend before I really figure out the ins and outs of what all of that is. But it's a garden thing. It's not going to really
It won't be taxing.
It won't be too taxing, right? And of course, Riva signed up to assist me, so yay for that. And she is their ground. You were head of their grounds committee for, right?
I still am.
Yes. See there. So I'm in excellent hands, and it's always wonderful to have volunteers who know more than you.
No, I don't know if I'd say that, but
No. About this particular place.
well, yeah, but you know, they're going to be selling plants. They're going to be selling plants, and the people who are, this is so citywide invited. So this is people buying things that they don't know anything about. So you and I are going to tell them how to plant it and what they can expect and how often it needs to be watered and the name of the plant if we can think of it. Got it? That's all we're doing.
Okay. So Riva, on that note, if you all have people who are going to be propagating plants and bringing them,
yes,
what I would like then is if they do not know the names of the plants themselves,
yes,
they need to send me an email no later than this Friday with pictures.
well, I think that most of the people, it's the garden club members who are bringing the plants that they have propagated. And most of them will know what they are.
Okay, so then can they send me their list?
But no, I don't think they can. The people who are going to be we have all various circles, and each circle is bringing their own plants. And the next circle doesn't know what the other circle is doing. And so
each circle has a president though.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to tell Peggy that each circle's president needs to send me a list of plants from their people.
Yeah, go ahead.
And the reason for that is I don't want us to be almost useless.
Yeah.
By not being prepared.
Yeah.
For what they are bringing in.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a plant lexicon.
Yes. Those circles are receiving those plants early in the morning, the day of, and they are supposed to be identifying them and labeling them.
Oh, okay. So
there will just be a few, straggly ones that nobody knows what they are. And I can't imagine that there'll be very many. So we can do that when we first get there.
Okay.
And I'll bring my native plant book.
That'd be great.
And of course, Fran will be there. There'll be several.
Oh, bless Fran's whole heart. Yeah. So I'll have a lot of help then.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of help. A lot of help. Okay.
All right. So having dealt with that, so that's what's happening at the garden club, Janice.
And what time is that?
I think we're
supposed the garden club is the garden club, and it's
8 o'clock, right?
It starts the 10 o'clock. The sale starts.
Okay, so I'll be there at 9. I'll be at the garden club at 9. Steam Fest. Oh, geez, don't let me tell you any lies. Let me pull this up.
Steam Fest with Darren is a lot of fun. I have done it in the past. I am not available to do it this year, but it's usually he'll have something planned that is educational and relatively interactive with, while Nikki gets the details on that. It has been a tremendous amount of fun.
Okay, I do not see a time on this. Okay, so let me check their Facebook page. Bless my whole heart today. And see. All right, here we go. Oh, and of course the requisite pop-up. Okay. So Steam Fest is starting at 9 a.m. and it is ending at 2 p.m. Okay, so Steam Fest is starting at 9 a.m. and it is ending at 2 p.m. at the IG Center. And that is 17th April. Okay. So yes, Laurie, it usually is quite an interesting thing to help the young folk learn something new or to look at something in a different way. It is a very enjoyable experience to do that. I've chosen not to hang out with the ankle biters on that day because I am definitely all in at CW Willis. We have a really great partnership and a great relationship with the Garden Club. And they actually sent me their information long before Steam Fest was going to actually happen in some form this year. So I've decided to make sure that I stick with the Garden Club's event for this year. All right, so I think that is all for today. My usual encouragement to you all.
Let me just say one more thing about the Garden Club plant sale. I think they're selling most of the plants for $1 a piece.
Oh, cool.
So come and buy plants or just look.
Right. Okay, so Nancy Richards, I do not have 3 things going on the 17th. I have 2 things going on the 17th. Garden Club plant sale and Steam Fest at the IG Center. Garden Club is 10 to 2. Steam Fest is 9 to 2. CW Willis is 24th April in the morning. And we're supposed to be set up and started at 8 o'clock. So we don't have 3 things happening on the 17th. That is no problem, my dear. I'm glad that you asked the question because if you got that impression, somebody else might have as well. And it's good for me to be able to say, okay, let me make sure that I get this stated in a clearer fashion. All right, so folks, my usual encouragement to you all is check on someone, right? Check on anyone. It's very important that we continue to do that. Just because some of us are out and about does not mean that everyone is out and about. So check on anybody and let them know that you care. I'm going to look for a little friend of mine, probably on Thursday afternoon before I leave. She is very important to me and she needs to know it. I will speak with you all and see you all next Tuesday for sure. And those of you who I see at the Gifford Garden or at the IG Center, it'll be great. It'll be fun. You all stay safe. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of the day. I'm going to go get some food. Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.
See you next week.